I want to take his face off. What's up, everybody? Welcome to PCP Movie Night. I am Rockin, Robbie, Billups, and we're continuing on with ActionFest 2021. And tonight we're doing one of the biggest action films of the 90s, starring two of the biggest actors of the 90s, John Travolta and Nichloas Cage, playing each other, basically, in Face Off. So tonight's about one of the most ridiculous movies I think that exists from 1997. Speaking of 1997, Jelani.
Yeah, bro. Station. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be here talking about the craziest movie I've seen in like ages. And I just watched Shogun Assassin. So this is a film. This is worth your time and effort sometimes. I worked at the movie theater in like 1997 when this came out. So I remember it well. Actually, the credits gave me flashbacks of cleaning the theater. I didn't know it was going to happen until I saw it. I was like, oh God, I have to clean it. So it's I've seen it many times at that time. So I haven't seen it since, and this is the rewatch for me. So this is the first time I've seen it since then.
This is the first time I've seen it in a long, long time. Yeah. And we had to bring on someone for such a ridiculous ass movie. I was like, you know who needs to watch this movie if he hasn't already? It's Perry from Perry Comics
Station. This was my first time watching it.
Yeah.
And ridiculous is the perfect word to describe this movie. There were some like cringe moments, but like it was like over the top. I was not expecting it. And I thought the face off, I thought it was going to be like a competition. I didn't expect faces to come off. I thought it was crazy.
Speaking of crazy and ridiculous, it's Brooks. What's up, Brooks?
Ooh-wee, you good looking.
Ooh-wee, you good looking. Talk about chewing
Remember
scenery.
that time we switched faces like years back, but nobody noticed?
Yeah. It seemed... It's called Face Off, but it's actually, they had to like, we'll get into all this, but like, they had to like cut his hair, give him like fake body hair. They had to like give him liposuction or some shit. And I guess when he goes back to being John Travolta at the end, he's like, would you put the love handles back on for me, please?
Yeah.
I really would appreciate it if you did that. All right. So we're talking about Face Off. It's ActionFest. This is a John Woo movie. Last year we did the Mission Impossible franchise. And, we talked about how John Woo's a much better director than MI2 will let you realize. And then we decided back then that maybe we should do Face Off this year. And I'm glad we did it. I'm glad I got to revisit this movie. I will not say that this is a good film, but I will say that it is a film that I like for various reasons. And it's a film I dislike for other reasons. Overall, I loved this movie when it first came out. This was the biggest shit of 97. Everybody was talking about this movie. Nichloas Cage had just won an Academy Award or whatever for Leaving Las Vegas. He was a rising star. Like, believe it or not, some of you younger people out there may not remember this, but there was a time where everybody thought Nichloas Cage was a good actor and not in an ironic situation. Like
Nichloas Cage, good or bad?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And John Travolta. John Travolta had just come off of some movies. He had played the villain in a lot of movies. John Woo was making his name. He had just come off Broken Arrow, and it all works out. And you see what's going on in this film. It's also got other people like Gina Gershon and Joan Allen. Joan Allen, very oddly, they throw an ass shot of her into this movie, which is really out of place. I think if you want to throw that in, it should be Gina. Well, but anyway. Overall, I think the movie is ridiculous. It's got the most ridiculous premise. Like, so there's this bad guy, and there's this like FBI agent good guy who's hunting him down. And it starts off the movie where the Nichloas Cage caster Troy is trying to kill. It's Sean. What's his last name?
Archer.
Sean Archer. Okay. Trying to kill him, winds up killing his like 6-year-old son. So it starts really freaking heavy, right? And this movie has this emotional thing to it that I actually kind of like. I think it's a bit overwrought, a bit melodramatic, a bit soap operatic at times even. But it kind of works for the most part. And, if you've seen the movie, what happens is Nichloas Cage winds up in a coma, and Sean needs to get information from Castor Troy's brother, Pollux Troy, about where this bomb is. So they're going to take Nichloas's face off and put it on John Travolta, and he's going to go into this prison undercover. And then Castor wakes up and they swap places. This movie is so weird. It's first of all, the action in the movie is pretty much incredible. That's why most people really liked it. John Woo doing it. The Doves are in it again. You know, it's just his staple.
Like Doves.
I think the performances are really solid. More so on one than the. This movie's a weird fucking stretch, man. It's a movie that I both like and hate at the same time. Speaking of loving and hating something at the same time, Jelani, what do you think about this film?
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, this film is it's exactly what you said. You love it or you hate it, and it's together because it is ham to 11. I've never seen so much just quality prime ham from both of the main characters and most of the villains in this story. It is so uniquely John Woo for that it's over the top action scenes, but you have to wait for a good bit towards the end because there's a lull that's in there that's like, oh, there's no action going on. They're not doing anything for real. You know, fights at the prison. I don't really care. It was just, you know, a different setup, you know, in the middle of the film. But then at the end, all kick explosions, baby. So I love it. I love this film for a lot of different reasons, but I can pick it apart. It's so implausible to have someone take their face off, put their face on someone else's face, laser it, using those super lasers that they had, and then fix it at the end when, you know, all was said and done with just regular cosmetic surgeons. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to.
Well, they were the best doctors in DC, is what they said. So
yeah,
I guess coming from the nation's capital, they must know what the hell they're doing in this top secret, super experimental process that nobody knows about.
Yeah, no one knows about it. And they blow up the building that they have it in and all that stuff. Kill all the people that know the technology. Dead. And you just
how do you do all that? How powerful is Castor Troy that he can just call up these people and get all these agent guys in the same room just so he can burn them to death?
He's like a terrorist. He's like a terrorist savant.
He's like
Why
a
didn't
super
he just do that in the beginning?
Yeah. I don't know. They should have just done that all together.
But then he walked behind that jet engine, man. That was his mistake.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Classic tragic downfall.
Yeah. So overall, you like it, but
it's got holes.
Yeah.
Gigantic, humongous plot holes.
It's got entire faces of the movie that have been ripped off.
It's a damn shame. But at the same time, it's a fun watch. I mean,
yeah,
it's explosions and doves.
See,
I mean, what do I want from an action movie? It's my favorite genre movie. So, I mean, kick explosions there. There were kicks, there were explosions.
Yeah.
You got them both.
There were doves, there were guns. It's a John Woo film. And
John Woo film.
And
Mexican standoffs.
This movie knows how ridiculous it is that it not just says the name of the movie in the movie, but it repeats it 2 other times, in the same 5 minutes, where he's like, you mean face off? What is face off? I remember that being in the trailer, being like, wait, you're literally taking his face off. Holy cow. I'm really interested to know what somebody who has watched it for the first time just now thinks. So Perry, what do you think overall about the film?
Very fun film. There are some scenes that were so cool, like when Nicolas Cage wakes up with no face on and he's just smoking a cigarette and waiting for that seemed like a super villain, like a perfect casting right there. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, dude. Like, what is he gonna do with his face? Because I seen the bandages on the floor. Like, I didn't know what was happening. And then he puts on John Travolta's face. I was like, oh, this is crazy, dude. Like, why is this happening right now? Like, how is this even possible? But that was pretty much the whole movie. How is this even possible when he's jumping out the side of the plane, shooting the guns like crazy in the air? Like this is whoa, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't really care for the story too much. It wasn't really something that I was like on the edge of my seat, but it was okay, you know, for what it was.
Yeah. Speaking of okay for what it is, Brooks, what do you think about this film?
I still like this movie. Like this movie is a lot of fun. I remember loving the shit out of it when I was a kid. But like the one thing that doesn't hold up for me as much as the over the top gunplay. A lot of the times it looks pretty ridiculous to me. Like guys just like shooting two guns while flying through the air and shit's like there's just fucking bullets just flying everywhere. It's crazy, but it's you know, it's a great action movie, and I love the performances, like particularly the two leads and how like they get to do that kind of switch up. Because like Sean Archer, Travolta's Sean Archer is boring as shit. Like Sean Archer, when Travolta's playing him, he's just fucking boring. I don't fucking care. But as soon as he becomes Castor Troy, John Travolta's like one of the best parts of the movie. And Nicolas Cage is like way better as Archer too, I think.
Yeah, especially when he's like in the prison and he's trying to act like super crazy badass, but at the same time he's like crying. It's just that's one of the best parts to me in this whole film, which really sells it. And it's got some decent performances, you know, here and there. But it is what Nicolas Cage and what John Travolta are doing, playing each other. John Travolta has a Nick Cage cadence to his voice when he's playing Castor. Nicolas Cage doesn't quite mirror anything from Travolta, but he plays that conflicted, the hero in like the face of the person who's most. This is a dude that killed his 6-year-old kid, and when he first sees it, like he like is about to throw up, you know, and like that's
sees a Mary, he like freaks out.
Yeah, he freaks out.
It seems like they're kind of making it an implication that maybe he's like it's psychologically affecting him, making him think that he's becoming, you know, Castor Troy.
Well,
maybe it's fucking with him a little more mentally than it appears.
I think that's something that happens to both of them.
Yeah, they both start turning into those people. That was so cool.
So that's an interesting little tidbit. So let's get into these characters. Out of all of the cast, all the characters, what would you like to highlight, Jelani?
Well, I'm taking it off the bat. I'm taking Nicolas Cage. In general, like as he plays Castor Troy and how he plays Sean Archer, the juxtaposition of those two, the way he switches it up, is fantastic. Like he's trying to eat a peach, and then he's like, Mike, and he gets all of the rage because it's Nicolas Cage, you know, and he's not a self-parody at this point. He's actually pretty freaking awesome. And I like how he portrayed both characters. I like the interplay between Travolta and Cage is amazing. But I also like how he deals with when he's Castor. It's like how he deals with, I don't know, just his flair. I should just say his flair. Because when he gets out of the car, when he's out of the car after he grabbed that girl's butt in the choir, singing all
he's just a don't give a fuck villain.
He's just and I'm like, how do you get that? Yeah, he's that, and it's so clean. I mean, I'm like, he's the perfect villain, and he could have stayed that way as Sean Archer, but Sean Archer turns it into just this. He turns it into a whole other character, and it's so much depth, I think, to his character when he does that in both ways. And John Travolta does equally well. I think they both do a great job playing each other. And I don't know we really discussed that, but it edges out with Nicolas Cage because he's freaking nuts in this film, and I love it.
He is so freaking nuts in this film, and I love the character. So like he shows up and he's dressed as a priest. He's doing all that weird shit. He grabs the chick's ass, and he's got this. It's just so freaking. It's such a weird stretch of a movie, But one of the coolest, suavest things about this dude is like, I would love this if I just showed up in a room, someone gave me a briefcase that had like my weapons, some fatties rolled up, some blue pills from the Matrix. Yeah, like what is this? Like
chiclets.
Yeah, and chiclets.
Chiclets.
All right. What about you, Perry? What's a performance you want to highlight?
I'm gonna go with John Travolta. I can't say his last name right. I don't know why, but I thought he was great in this movie. I like just to piggyback what you said. Like, you have two characters that were established in the beginning, then they switch their bodies pretty much because of their faces, and their whole personality has to shift. And it's like, how cool is that of an actor to play a part and then to play a different part of the opposite of your opposition, but try not to become that person. And it was just crazy, like even with the way he was handling with his wife, the way he was with the coworkers, like he got the stick surgically removed from his ass. So it's like, even if he, so even if he comes back with his face, everyone's gonna hate him again because everyone finally enjoyed being around him. And it's like he kind of won at the end, because it's like, even if you get your life back, everybody will hate you from now on because they could see how good you could be.
Yeah, but he learned a little bit about fun, right? He did drugs.
I don't know.
This is the second movie that I remember seeing Nicolas Cage play a straight edge guy taking drugs. He does it again in Bringing Out the Dead, the Scorsese film, where he just gets like messed up or whatever. So like that scene where they put the pill and he's like, "Oh, I better drink it," and he's just like. I like both of them in the film. I think John Travolta does a better job of catching the cadence of Nicolas Cage. Right? And what's crazy is at the time, John Travolta was known for playing villains. Yeah. Right? And Nicolas Cage was known for playing heroes. So they switch them and then they switch them again. Right? So it's such a weird thing that they did. But I know that at the time that was the big thing. Like, this was a movie that MTV talked about. Right? And it was a big deal that they were that they were working together and that they were, going to kind of be mimicking. Like, I remember seeing an article once where it was an article, it was interviews like on MTV or something, where Nicolas Cage was talking about learning how John Travolta walks. And I didn't pick that up, but he does such a great job. Like, okay, so he's playing this crazy ass villain at first, and then John Travolta gets to do it, but he doesn't play, like you said, Brooks, Travolta is boring as Sean in this movie, right? Yeah. But Nicolas Cage as Sean is not boring, because he's like literally he's like crying and trying to be like this villain. He's like it's like a dude like going undercover with young people at a club or something. He's like, hey everybody, I like pickles. What do you like? What are you in? Like, whatever he thinks that this is what the villain will do. This is what he will say. But at the same time, they both learn a little bit about the other person's life. And John Travolta, his character leading into Nicolas Cage, so the character of Sean Archer gets to kind of understand that criminals, it's not so black and white, right? And so that's a really interesting bit there. Brooks, what do you think about these two actors, and what's a highlight of a performance you'd like to mention?
I liked Joan Allen's character, Archer's wife. I thought she was pretty. She seemed like she was an interesting character for, because it's such a strange situation when you think about it. Because when she does find out, when she finally confronts it, she has to tell him me and him, we've been doing the husband and wife thing this whole time.
I know. So over the top, man.
But yeah, she seems she seems competent, I guess, would be the best descriptor of her character.
Joan Allen is a hell of a performer. I'm a big fan of her in The Ice Storm. I'm a big fan of her in the Bourne franchise that we talked about last year. I think she's fine. And she was cast well, because Castor winds up in this square's life where he's really lusting after the daughter, which is a little bit of a weird stretch there. And, but he's stuck in it. Right. Yeah. But he's stuck in this. I don't know. It's so weird. He's stuck in a world that he wouldn't typically be in. And then the same thing happens to Sean when he's Castor, and Gina Gershon's all over him and stuff. And what a weird line of dialogue. if I told you to suck my tongue, would you be grateful? Like, suck my tongue. I got something else in my... Anyway, for me, my favorite characters, I really like, I don't know the character's name, but it's Castor's friend, the bald dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I think
I like
Gina's
him too.
brother or something.
Yeah.
Such a cool dude. Like, such fun. He's just like trying to party, and he's like, yeah, yo, man, it looks like you just fucked your mother. What's wrong? You know? And he's like that homie of yours, right? And then when he gets shot, and he's like, take the kid and get him going, and he's looking, he's like, we had some good times. He has a great death.
He's a drug guy, right?
Great hole in his neck. Yeah.
He's like the drug dealer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one with the box. He presents him with the box.
Right.
Yeah.
He always brings the party favors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a cool character.
My place.
So I really like him, and I think Gina does a good job, and the daughter does a good job too. And if you notice, so there's speaking of performances, Thomas Jane's in this film. Did anybody notice that?
Yeah, I did.
Thomas Jane's that dude on prison, like with the glasses and the hair, and he was like he befriended Sean while he was Castor in prison. That's Thomas Jane, and then the boyfriend that's trying to get too friendly with the daughter is dude from fucking that 70s show, that Scientologist guy.
Dude.
Funny.
Isn't he in jail for doing that in real life?
I think he is.
Yes, he is.
So I guess
so
that
funny,
was a true to life performance.
So-
Anyway, this
His acting was spot on.
So let's talk about the script. Let's talk the cinematography. Let's talk about the directing. We got John Woo, obviously. The movie is written. Let me look here. It's written by Mike Werb and Michael Collery. Mike Werb did The Mask and Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And Michael Collery also did, let's see, Firehouse Dog and Lara Croft Tomb Raider. All right, so there you go. So we not many credits there. I mean, there's more, but those are the big highlights. What do you think about the style and the structure of the film, Jelani?
I honestly think it's too long. Like, I think they could have gotten there. They could have trimmed some of this down.
This movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what the
There's a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed off. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot that we could have kicked out of this movie. There are lulls. There are things that just weren't necessary for some reason. If you're gonna do quick cuts of the story in the middle of it, like when we do Hellraiser, I just finished watching one of those, and it has the same problem. Like, it's just tonally all over the place. But because of that and Face Off, it's like, it's jarring to be slow, have this lull, and then boom. You know, it feels off in this film. The cinematography, when there's action, is over the top. It's ham. It's pretty though. I like all the jumping with the two guns. I like all of that stuff. I love the Mexican standoff. The Mexican standoff is so clean, and it's like the best thing in the movie to me, next to the boat race, the boat race / boat action. Yeah, that I mean, it really crescendos to that. It's beautiful, and I like I said, the pacing is weak, but when there's action, it's action that's worth a damn. I actually feel invested in the fights. A lot of people died that didn't have to die. All you had to do was duck, especially when Sean's telling you to duck. Sean telling you to duck, because apparently you're his meat shield for most at the very beginning, especially. So it's got its things. It's all right as far as its action component, but I think it's slow in parts. A lot of things need to be trimmed down.
You know, the way that they presented it would have worked episodically. You know, like this would probably Face Off might actually make a good like 8 to 10 to 12 episode TV series, right? Mm-hmm. But if they did a TV series of it, they would keep switching faces over and over and over again. It'd be like Prison Break. We're like, they're breaking out of prison again? Damn, what's going on there? Perry, what do you think about the style and the structure of the film? Because it is a very stylized film.
Yeah, it is. I think it's shot super well. The composure throughout the entire film was great. Even though like some of the shooting scenes, action scenes seem dated, it seems dated accordingly to like the time period that it was released in. So it wasn't like it was bad or anything. It was just, it's obviously recognizable that it's from that time period. But yeah, I think it was just a little bit too long. like maybe make 2 like 90-minute films. Like at the end, he's like, leave us off with a cliffhanger and bring us back for more. Because that was a long ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought the movie looked great. It wasn't boring to me at all. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's not boring, but structure wise and story wise, it does drag.
Yeah.
And it
does,
is too long. It's a little over bloated. It becomes like, it's almost like a prophetic notion of where action big tent pole films, summer films are going to go. I just watched a film today that I thought was maybe a bit too over bloated. And if it had maybe 15, 20 minutes cut out, would have been a much more punchy film. This film is punchy, but it is in spurts. You know what I'm saying? It does slow up. It does feel like it becomes a different movie at certain times, and there's a different direction. And if you're curious, Jelani, what I thought, it was Suicide Squad. I thought if you we're not going to get into that too much, but I feel like 15 minutes out of Suicide Squad, and it's a really, really solid, good movie. A lot of movies are just like that, right? And I feel that.
Talk about the Suicide Squad.
Yes, but
okay.
Yeah, that's the new one that I just watched today. But back to Face Off, it does have that structural inconsistency, but it's got the style. It's got that John Woo flair. It's got doves. It's got jumping. And this time, I noticed all the dudes with wires in the shootout scene towards the beginning. Like they get blown away by that shotgun and they get thrown away. John Woo's known for that wire work. I saw the wires this time, and I was like, man, I should have watched this on VHS. But Brooks, what do you think about the style and structure of the film?
Well, I love the style. Like, this is the only John Woo movie I think I've seen, actually. Like, I wasn't as familiar with a lot of his work. Well, what was the other one?
Well, you've seen Mission Impossible.
Yeah, MI2.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't seen that until
You haven't seen his best work.
Yeah.
Hard boiled.
But I thought this movie was the shit. And I love the style of it, even if it is a little goofy at times with the over the top gunplay. But I mean, it just looks cool, and it's just fun. It's just a fun action movie. It is a bit long. It's a bit lengthy, I think. But I mean, I didn't feel like it would at any point that I was like, dozing off or like not paying attention. No. Like, it managed to keep my attention. But I mean, I think it could stand to be cut a little bit, perhaps.
Especially because of this. If you put different actors in those roles, let's say you put, I don't know, this is the 90s. Let's say you put Matthew McConaughey and Matthew Broderick in that movie. This movie's not good.
It was written to be for Stallone and Arnold.
Bruh, that movie would have been so dumb.
Sense.
We would still be talking about it.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie. Like, where we're going to have to make Sylvester Stallone like 2 feet taller. I like how they also do the thing too, where they put the vocal chip in his throat, to like make sure that he can match up his voice. And they tell him like, it's very sensitive. So be careful if you're moving around. Okay. Then all he had to do in the movie really was go, hear me, it's John Travolta.
Yeah.
The structure, it's a bit too long. It's overwrought. But it's the performances that carry it through. Like we were saying, other people like Arnold and Sly did this movie. Bruh, this movie's so bad, we're just going to be riffing on it all night, And the movie is still riff worthy, but it's a fun movie. It's the type of movie that you just, I watched it alone, but I still had just as much fun as I would if I watched it with you guys drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird stretch of a movie, but you kind of buy into it. It's got a ridiculous concept, but we love movies with crazy ass ridiculous concepts. So, and style wise, it is John Woo. It's doing the thing. The church shootout stuff is some of my favorite bits. That's where the doves show up. I hate that I can see the bird food on the floor, because I'm like, oh, it's just, who has a church like that? That's just open air like that. And you're just, it's weird. There's a lot of like symbolism, like religious stuff. Like, I think John Woo thought he was making a very serious movie about good and evil, right? And he's throwing all this kind of.
He missed the mark.
Yeah, you was going for it though.
Let's talk about the music. The music's done by John Powell. This was his first composing film that I can see here. He went on to do Ants, Chill Factor, which is an underappreciated movie, Chicken Run, Shrek, Rat Race, Born Identity. He was the composer of that. The Adventures of Pluto Nash, the classic that is. Movie. The Italian Job, Geely, one of Jelani's favorites. The Bourne Supremacist. So he did the Bourne scores. Those are really freaking good. He's done a lot of kids movies. He did Be Cool. He did Mr. 3000. X-Men Last Stand. Oh, he did X-Men Last Stand. That makes sense.
I like that music.
I don't. I think the music in the film, the score, I think is okay. It's a bit just like the movie, overwrought, overindulgent, typical. Nothing really stands out. My favorite bits of the music in this movie, though, are the way that it starts off with Handel's Messiah, right? And then, of course, Nicolas Cage ruins that. But the Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that the usage of that music in that scene with the kid, with the headphones and everybody's dying around him and flying and all that shit. I thought that usage of music was really on point. The score is all right, but it's nothing that's going to stand out and be memorable. And I'm actually thinking on it now. The Bourne movies I love as much. Can't think of the music off the top of my head. So it works and it's good, but maybe just a bit too cookie cutter. What do you think about the music in the film, Jillian?
Yeah, it was typically 90s music. It was just that background music that kind of happens because the movie's happening. Dun, 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 dun. It's a lot of that, and it's weird because it's not weird because now we kind of have movies that know how to build and how to get the sentimental scene in there and all that stuff. You get to understand it as we've gone on, but this was late 90s, not its best roles. But I do like, that Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because I was going to talk about that. And I love how it juxtaposes the fight, all the explosions and the death. And by the way, I didn't mention this before in the style and structure. Everybody's flipping. Joan Allen, I think, flipped once in this movie. And I was like, why? What? Huh? So it's just, it matches the tone of the music. I mean, the music matches the tone of the film. Yeah. But it's very forgettable.
I think it's the soundtrack choices that make it pop a little bit more. Right?
Pops
and
a little more.
Speaking of the cast, we didn't really get into this, but Sean has all these FBI agents that when casters Sean, he can get them to perform as if they're henchmen for his gang, which is weird. When he's throwing a gun out at his wife and they're on board with that. It's really weird. And did you notice that one of his agents is Margaret Cho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was the one that was the stick out of the ass joke.
Yeah. That's exactly. So a little bit of a interesting concept there. What about you, Perry? What do you think about the music in the film?
I thought it was okay. Nothing memorable. I think when it needed to be energized, it was, but all in all, it was okay. I felt like there was a lot of weird sound effects thrown in. When they shot one of the guards, it made a T-Rex noise, a scream. I was like, what the hell is that? There's no reason for that sound effect to be playing right now. It worked, but it was just a little bit odd.
What did you think about the Somewhere Over the Rainbow bit? Did you like that stuff?
I mean, it was okay. I understand why they did it. But those old headphones, you're gonna hear everything. Dude.
Yeah, no
you're
shit.
not hearing shit, dude.
It's not like those are Beats by Dre.
No,
right?
Yeah, they're not even sound. It's just barely on top of your ear. It's one of those crappy headphones from the '90s that you put into a Walkman. It's come on, that kid's not hearing anything. He's hearing blood and guts squirting everywhere.
What's crazy is I had just literally watched the night before a movie in which they do the same bit where they put headphones over a kid and it was Fate of the Furious. They do the same thing in that movie.
Oh, bad.
And that's something that John Woo likes to do. He likes to take a classical song usually something like Handel's Messiah or something very memorable, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and juxtaposition it against like a very violent scene. It's something that he does in his films. While Doves Fly. And so there you go. Brooks, what do you think about the music in the film?
It's all right. I mean, it served its function, but I don't remember. It's not very memorable, to be honest. But then again, the movie kind of overshadows it. I think, like just because this movie's so stylish, like you're so busy paying attention to what your eyes are seeing that. If you really want to catch people's attention, you need a soundtrack that's a bit like, a cut above. You really want, to be memorable. Yeah. I don't think the soundtrack did that. So, like, I noticed a few, like, there were some parts that I thought were pretty good, but nothing I thought was exceptional.
Nice. All right. I like I said, I think, I agree with y'all. The music is okay. It's nothing. It's nothing super bad. The same guy went on to do Solo. I think that has fine music, but like he did a lot of kids' music, and he's probably got more memorable themes and cues from Chicken Run than he does Face Off. Before we
get the music in Shrek is great. Yeah,
right. So before we get into the theme, because we're actually blazing through Face Off, it's crazy. Wow. It's like this movie's not like super sophisticated or something.
No.
But I want to know what's your favorite moment in the film, Jelani?
Oh wow, I'm glad you asked me this. I've actually thought about this scene for years, to the point where I'm just like, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know why. It's right after John Travolta saves his playing Sean. God, there's so much going on. He saves his daughter from the rapist, the attempted guy, and he sits down with her. He gives her a cigarette. She smokes the cigarette. He smokes one, and he gives her the switchblade, and he gives her the
butterfly knife.
The butterfly knife. Yeah.
My bad. There's a butterfly knife. My bad. But when he gives that knife, he's like, put it in the upper thigh, turn it so the wound won't close. And she turns around at the end of this movie and does it. I think it's just like the coolest thing. I don't know why. I don't know. It was a father-daughter chat where he gave her advice as a dad, but he's also, the killer of her brother. And then she ends up using that advice against him. Something about that entire bit is fantastic to me. And I've thought about it for years. Every time I think of Face Off or I bump into Face Off, I always think about that actual talk, that scene. And it feels, like I said, he wasn't expecting to be a father in that character. And the fact he gave fatherly advice, it was terrible advice. You don't give your daughter a knife. But whatever. But I still think it's kind of him trying to give levity to her and then make her feel comfortable at home. And it felt like a genuine scene.
Yeah. So it's a good moment. And every time Jelani stabs a man, he always remembers to twist the blade, right?
Every time.
Perry, what's one of your favorite moments in the film?
My favorite moment in the film has to do with, I guess you would call it the props. When Nicolas Cage is first in jail and they show him wearing these metallic boots that are magnetic to the floor, and they could trace you throughout the entire prison, and they could lock you in so you won't move. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever seen when it comes to some type of movie prison. Yeah, that was so cool.
Nice. What about you, Brooks?
Up prison.
Yeah.
They basically said when you got there, we own you now.
Yeah.
Literally, we actually do own you.
This thing's out in the middle of the ocean, and they still have magnetic boots, to keep you.
At least they have giant screens to show them, like,
this is where you are.
Newscasts and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
What about you, Brooks? What's your favorite moment?
My favorite part is probably like after Cage's character, after Castor wakes up, like from his coma, and he sees himself in the mirror, and he gives this pained kind of pain gets subdued kind of scream, like the, it's like it just seems so perfect because it feels like you can get the tragedy like of how how this is affecting him mentally, seeing that somebody took his fucking face off, and I imagine it probably was pretty physically painful too, having your face skin removed.
Yeah. All right, I got two moments that are not their favorite moments of mine because they're so fucking ridiculous. Number one, the moment where Nicolas Cage is playing Sean, pretending to be Castor, doing drugs with his homies, and does the whole, I want to take his face off.
Yeah.
His face off? His face off. It's just such a weird bit where he's like, you can tell this square ass dude's never fucking done drugs in his life, and then his friend is like, "No more drugs for this guy." I'm like, wouldn't he be aware that, like, usually bruh can handle his shit? Like, what's going on there? The other one is when this is such a weird stretch of a moment because you had to like design the production of this one scene around this bit when they're staring at each other and then the mirrors between them. So they're like pointing the gun at themselves and they shoot each other in the mirror straight through the head, but they don't fucking hit anybody. Like nothing at all. But my favorite moment is the church scene. I think it's really kind of well shot and really well put together. What is the movie trying to say? What's the theme of this movie? What's Face Off about to you, Jelani?
Knowing oneself. And being grounded in the face of, just certain doom in some form or fashion, playing someone else, playing a role that is not your own, but still staying true to yourself on both counts. Because both characters, no one knows. Like for the majority of this time, even though, they're wearing faces, of course, that's the most believable part is this person, but no one catches on for real until, Nicolas Cage gives the blood to Joan Allen and Gina Gershon can't tell. This is what makes me mad though. And I hate to say this, but the part where she's been having like marital relations with this guy. Now, I know they didn't do everything.
They might have.
They might have. I don't know.
He
Apparently
likes his
they did because she straight up fooled him. And I'm like, wow, really? They did everything? So it's just stuff like that, but it's still staying true to it because that accidental, the President movie with, what's her name in it? It's Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. And it's Dave, the movie Dave. And he's Dave is played by Kevin Kline, and he's replacing the president who died. Yeah. So they're like fooling it. But even in the trailer for this movie, he's like in the shower naked, and like Sigourney Weaver comes in and looks at him, and she's like, "You're not my husband." You know what I'm saying? It was just like that.
Yeah.
It's like So the fact that these two guys were able to balance their mannerisms and knew which each other is. I think the theme of that is just staying true to yourself, being true to yourself, even though you have things on your face. You got another guy's face on your face.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm pretty sure during those scenes where they were, those moments where they were being intimate, Joan Allen was just like, man, we haven't made love in a while. You've learned some tricks. Cause one thing I do know about
people, so much more fit than I remember.
Yeah. Where you're like, I know that people can mimic each other or whatnot, but like one thing I do know in my life is that everybody fucks different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a fact of life. Speaking of fucking different, Perry, what do you think this movie's about? What's it saying to you?
Oh man. I thought this movie, well, to me, like 90% of the movie, it raised the question, can the hero remain the hero if he has to become the villain to become the hero? Like the whole, that's what I felt like the majority of this movie felt like it was trying to answer that question. So I'm gonna go with that. That seems appropriate. Does everyone fuck different? Because I've seen like animals having same sex as people, like on the TV and like National Geographic, like they do the doggy style.
I mean,
like, I see lions doing it.
The positions may be the same, but the action
is it really different? Like I guess
think
like a different tempo.
Because
like
you know a person
different,
after a while,
different movements, different you
just know.
I don't know. Okay, have you ever been involved with someone? Like, say you were involved with someone intimately, y'all split away, you do your other things, and you get back together, they fuck different, and so do you. And that means they learned some new tricks
some new stuff
while we were apart. Anyway, people fuck different, Perry. Trust me, that's something I just swear it's true. But in my experience,
I'll take your word for it.
All right, Brooks, what's this movie about aside from fucking different?
Well, I think it's about learning to look at things from a new perspective and learning to appreciate the things that you have. Because like Archer, like he spends all this time like obsessing over, catching Castor to avenge his son, that he's like neglected his family, like his wife and his kid. He doesn't appreciate them. And like and then when he loses them and has to like gain them back, I think he really learns to appreciate it. And he also gets to see how his enemies live. He kind of gets to see a glimpse of a world that he, it's always been like kind of a part of from the outside, but he finally gets to see like, how these people operate inside and how they're not really as different maybe as he would have thought,
Yeah. Absolutely. Two things for me, and you guys have all nailed each one of these, but number one, identity. What is identity? Is it tied into your physical appearance? If something happens and you look drastically different, there have been people that have gone through major accidents and they come out of it looking different, or have had to have reconstructive surgeries and things like that. They come out of it looking different. We have so much of our identity tied up to what we look like. And it talks about like the idea of going native a little bit, right? Like that's probably a poor choice of words, I guess, in 2021. But like the idea
this game has a better plot than A Game of Death as far as reconstructive surgeries.
Yes, way better than The Game of Death. Let me be honest there. But so like the idea of how far do you go until you lose yourself? And that's tied into that identity thing. And then the idea of putting yourself in another person's shoes. And yes, he puts himself, Sean does, into Castor's shoes. But what he learns is that like Brooks said, these criminals are just like me. Like he feels really bad for all the threats and intimidation he's been throwing at Gina, Gershon's character, right? Because of the kid and this and that, right? So there's that. And then I guess the other thing is just keep doing the right thing and don't worry, you may not get your dead kid back, but you'll get a replacement. I don't know. That's a weird bit at the end where he adopts the kid and just brings it home. It's like, yo, can we keep him? Yeah, exactly. Like, can we keep the kid? Can we keep the kid? All right. Now it's time to rate the film out of 5 possible you digs. Wait, go ahead. Somebody say something?
Continue on.
I thought somebody said something. All right. Out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give Face Off? I almost said Facebook. 0.5 you digs. Yeah, what do you give Face Off out of 5 you digs? You out there in the chat, and you, Jelani.
It's a tough one actually, because it's got it's things I like and things I don't like, and it's a lot of them. But at the same time, it's entertaining, like altogether. So I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 4 you digs. I'll give it 4. It's got my kick explosions. That boat chase at the end is freaking amazing. Them flying off of it and it's clearly stuntmen. I'm like, I miss cheese like that. You don't even try to hide their faces and they're falling. I'm like, those clearly stuntmen are awesome doing their job.
This is all slow motion too. You're like, that is not
slow
John
motion.
Travolta.
It's not at all. It's not Nicolas Cage. It's a great film. I'm sorry. It's a great action movie. I love action movies. I put it higher if the story was a little shorter. If you weren't as convoluted as you were, you have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Joan Allen's butt, yeah, that scene did not need to happen. But I mean, I get it because it's like Castor looking at his nemesis ass.
But he looks at it and he goes like, ugh. And I'm like, really, bro? Really?
Yeah, he's coming at it. So
that's what we call an Alabama pancake.
That is an Alabama pancake.
I like pancakes.
But
4.0 from Delaney.
4.0, buddy. Yeah, that's it.
What about you, Perry? What do you give it out of 5, you digs?
I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. I thought it was cool. I like the acting in it. I like the Nicolas Cage with these extra faces he has. He looks like a freak, like a psychopath. I think is like super cool. I like the explosions. Yeah, the explosions, man. It was kind of cool. It's kind of long. I don't think I'll do a rewatch for a while. Maybe if I buy it on Blu-ray, which I'm tempted to, because I kind of want to see some like behind the scenes stuff. Because I was already looking online at some like trivia on the movie, and I'm like, some of the stuff's pretty cool. Like they wrote the movie or they filmed it 7 years earlier and then released it in '97, which I didn't know that at all. So I kind of want to know a little bit more about it. But
they were both famous at the time, and I guess they shelved it. So they're like, this is not going to work.
Yeah,
they saw them together or making their awards runs and things like that, and they're like, yeah.
Oh, and it was the first Blu-ray that Paramount released. So,
wow.
Fun fact.
Interesting. What about you, Brooks? What do you give it out of 5, you digs?
I'd give it a 4. It's as much as I enjoy it, the length of it makes it kind of you kind of think about watching a movie that long. Like, do I really want to sit and watch Face Off for 2.5 hours?
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine myself at some point in the future being like, man, I could sit down and watch Face Off. It's not a anytime movie,
Yeah.
But it's a good fun movie, I think.
I think the movie's fun. I don't think it's boring. Even though it has its structure problems, it doesn't get to the point where you're just like checking your phone and you just want to get out of the theater. Right. Of course, in 1997, if you had a cellular phone, like you had way more going for you than the movie you were watching, Face Off. But so I will agree with Perry. It's a 3.5. I had to think about this because like this is not a good movie. It's not tinged by nostalgia like something like Masters of the Universe, to me or something. So like it's got some tinge of. I'm just saying it's got some tinge of nostalgia, but for the most part, it's not as connected to me as something like Masters of the Universe, which is another bad film that I absolutely love.
Right.
But this one I love,
but
to a point. To a point. This is my rating, Jelani, but to a point. So I'm going to go 3.5 because I do think it's fun. I think it's enjoyable. I love the performances, especially by Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. It could be tightened up and it could be a lot better and it could be a little bit less ridiculous. But if it was less ridiculous, let's be honest, would we like it as much? Probably not. Let's look at the chat. Tomorrow says 4.5 peaches for hours. That's what a weird bit too. Like just weird. TM Nerdy says 4, you digs. Let's see. Jay Nunya says 3. It needed to be shorter. I can agree with that. Absolutely. So 3.5 from me, 4.0 from Jelani, 3.5 from Perry, and 4.0 from Brooks for a PCP average of 3.69, dudes. Very nice. That is our review of Face Off. But don't worry, ActionFest isn't over. In fact, it concludes next week with the moment that we've been waiting for. It's been building up to this, y'all. It's been a long summer, and it's been building up to next week. The entire Fast and Furious franchise reviewed here on PCP Movie Night, including Hobbs and Shaw. But before that, even though we're not quite at Horror Fest yet, it's Horror Fest every week on Dylan's Horror Show. And tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Time, we're talking about the 1988 remake of The Blob. I'm very excited for that. So I hope you join us. We really do appreciate you guys all checking out the movie. Don't worry, back chat is coming up. We're just going to take a quick break because we all got to go take a whiz, maybe smoke a bowl. And remember, we got to take our face off.
Hey, is that
Oh. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Just chilling, doing stuff, talking in the back.
Trying to order some Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, do they deliver it to you?
Oh yeah.
Freaking sweet. Nice. I wish ours did that. No, they probably do, but I haven't tried. I need a lot of Taco Bell, but like right now, I just gotta work. So good times. Now, and Robbie said he watched Suicide Squad. So like, now I'm jelly because I want to see Suicide Squad.
Oh, so much fun.
Oh man, you've seen it too.
Oh yeah, I watched it last night, like 7:00. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it.
Was it on HBO Max?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, good. Then I watched this immediately. Shoot, yeah. There was I hear there's like a lot of gruesome, awesome deaths. And
yeah.
It's like freaking James Gunn, so I have like no problems.
There was two like really cool fatalities, and I was like, whoa. Like I didn't see it coming at all. Like blood, guts, gore. It was awesome. From beginning to end. Like nonstop.
It's James Gunn. I expect no less.
You're talking about Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Oh
man.
yeah.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I watched that today.
What'd you think?
I haven't watched it yet.
I got to rewatch it because I don't normally say this, but I mean, I think I had my expectations set way too high.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved it.
Well, I mean, I liked it. I think it. I think it could have been
the first one.
Yes, but I think it could have. I think it could have been. Okay. These are spoiler free, but I think it could have been shorter, and I think that they showed all the best joke punchlines in the trailer. So you already know that those bits are coming, and they don't land as well as to me as they did in the trailer. That makes everybody does a great job. It's really good, but like I feel like the movie is 2 hours and like 14 minutes or something like that. It could have had some stuff trimmed out. They make some decisions that I'm like, but at the same time, it is good, but I'm not liking it as much as other people are, but I do need to watch it again because I want to see if that irons out because I had a lot of high expectations on this. So as of right now, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Wow. Whoa.
I would probably give it like a 5. I don't think I've seen the trailer. So like I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. So I don't know, but I seen it. I thought it was great like every single character, even like throwaway characters got a chance to shine. I thought that was really cool, even if it was for a short period, it was pretty cool.
There are a lot of good bits in it. There are a lot of good moments. I just feel like there are certain scenes that like are elongated that could have probably been
you can see that
shrunken down because the movie kind of switches a bit. It's kind of structurally it's very similar to me with Face Off.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, I'm still gonna watch it.
Definitely worth watching. I mean, it's a great, enjoyable, fun movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's got lots of
better than Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Everything is better than Suicide Squad.
Not everything.
Everything.
Not Game of Death.
Hey, Game of Death is worse than Suicide Squad.
Game of Death is like my new rating for like the lowest of the low.
Game of Death sucks.
When you put Bruce Lee's funeral in a movie, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it.
Yeah, talk about bad taste, right? That is what it is. How y'all been? Y'all been good? Y'all excited for What If next week? That's next week, right?
Yeah, it is next week.
It was funny. I heard that song on the radio the other day. What if? What if?
That you mean that Creed song that was in the Scream 2 soundtrack? Or was it Scream 3? Maybe 3, actually. It was probably 3, knowing the time.
We got to watch the Screams again. Gosh. Oh, we watch all the Screams.
Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but let me just say that there's some franchises by Wes Craven that we'll be doing next year for Horror Fest.
Oh, I just watched Wes Craven this week.
What'd you watch?
Was it The Hills Have Eyes, 1977?
Love that movie.
Yeah, that was really
Insane.
cool.
It's a fucked up movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan made me watch the fucking remake.
Oh,
And I was like, why didn't we just do the original?
The original was good, yeah.
The remake's okay, I guess, but like I love that original film. Have you seen Last House on the Left?
No.
I don't know if you should watch it.
Is it
But
good?
it would be interesting. I like it, but it's not a movie that would be made today.
No.
There's a remake of that one too, but
It's not as good.
It's very unnerving and unsettling.
Yeah.
The movie.
Oh boy.
Still not that good. But
The
first one
original?
was awesome. The original.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
I actually
Awesome.
I like the original. I own it, but it's one of those movies that you're not going to watch often.
It'll bother you. It's gonna change your life in ways.
Yeah, put that on your
no.
Halloween list. I want to
Yeah,
see Perry react to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the 30 Days of Horror. So I'm starting to watch them now so I can have them
Nice.
all ready to go.
Breathe, man, and continue. That's all I can say for some of the horror movies that even Robbie suggests. Yeah, get ready, son. Yeah, get ready.
I remember the first time we showed you Teeth, Jelani.
I fucking hate Teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah, how dare you? I've never watched Teeth again.
The movie's a classic, dude.
Yeah, I'm aware. A lot of people tell me that.
We had
That's
Jelani
true.
watch. We had Jelani watch the movie with. He had no prior knowledge of this film.
None.
Perry,
Whatsoever.
are you aware of this film?
No.
It's about a woman that has vagina dentata.
Dentata.
So she has teeth in her pussy, basically. In her vagina,
Wow.
she's got teeth. And yeah, you can imagine where this movie goes.
It's awful.
It's great.
Never watch it.
Like,
Let
it's
that
a
movie
great
go.
film.
Oh
that
no,
movie.
that sounds terrible.
Teeth
It's
is a
awful.
classic.
And it's
Teeth
graphic.
is amazing.
It's graphic.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Like things get ripped off.
Bro.
Yeah. There's this
Are they
great
sharp
moment.
teeth? Or,
There's
like,
this great moment
rounded?
where there's this dude and he's like trying to like, hey, let's go and yeah, let's do our thing. And then at one point the guy goes, ah, and Jelani goes, she bite him? She fucking bit him, right? And then like,
My
no,
exact
all of a sudden dude starts fucking screaming. He like runs out, he's bleeding from his crotch area. She stands out and she's still wearing like a dress or a skirt or something. And you just see her like, "Arr," and then you see a bloody fucking dismembered cock just fall out from between her legs. Yeah, it's awesome, man. You
happens-
should check it out. Check out
Oh
Teeth.
my god.
Check out Teeth. You have to.
No.
Brooks
That's
likes it.
fine.
I like it. I think Dylan likes it.
Yeah.
All right,
They
maybe.
should show Teeth in schools.
It's horror, but it's no. Children do not need to see Keith.
Oh man.
It still disturbs me. I still haven't watched
Yeah.
that since. And I keep seeing it. This is the funny part. I keep seeing it in like sometimes Netflix will have it or someone will have it like in their little categories for searches. And I'm like, oh my God, no.
What's it called? Teeth?
Teeth.
Yeah. It's from like the Audis, I guess, probably like 2007, 8, 9, something like that around there.
Fuck.
Dimension, I think, maybe.
Probably Dimension.
Dimension Extreme.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
Fuck that movie.
I love that movie.
That movie
That
just
movie's fucked up.
That movie just fucks different.
What's the yeah? Speaking of fucking different, what's the most fucked up movie you've ever seen, Brooks?
Most fucked up movie I've ever seen.
Because we broke J-Strick last year just with Reanimator, and that's
Reanimator.
tame compared to some other things that we've seen.
Yeah, it's hard to think now because I've gotten so accustomed to like fucked up shit in movies that like
Yeah.
a
You're
lot of it doesn't
desensitized.
really hit me like it would have back in the day. So like something I probably would have been like more disturbed by as a younger man. Like nowadays, it's just like just another day. Huh. Well, I watched the first Hellraiser a little while back. That had some pretty gnarly stuff in it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like I love
That crap
Well,
scared me as a kid,
him
man.
putting his like this before he not even skinless, but before that, when he's just like putting himself together, like with the spinal cord and the brain stem, and you can see his there's like some good effects in that movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellraiser's great. man.
Hellraiser is awesome. Yep.
What's the most fucked up movie you've ever seen, Perry?
I want to go with A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, that's a good pick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I watched it and I did a reaction to it, and then I sat down to edit, and I was like, I don't want to edit this movie, so I just deleted it. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to sit here for fucking 3 hours trying to edit this shit.
I'm like, no.
That's a good pick. That's a movie that like that's one of those movies. I'll go ahead and throw one of mine. Requiem for a Dream.
Yep.
Okay.
Never watch again.
And yeah, and that's what I mean. Like I've seen a lot of fucked up shit in movies, and I've watched movies with really fucked up shit, and I go, I can't wait to watch that one again, bruh. You know? But like, there are movies I like. There's this section of people. I always ask people a lot when I meet them or when I'm getting to know somebody. I go, "What's your favorite movies?" And there's a good like, I would say 10% of the people I ask that say either Requiem for a Dream or A Clockwork Orange. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all people? And I'm the one that just told Perry to watch Teeth and Last House on the Left. Yeah. Anyway, what about you, Jelani? What's the most fucked up thing you've watched?
It's kind of like a coin toss. It's like Audition really gets to me. That whole keeping some guy in a bag. It's Audition is a crazy movie. It's just, yeah, Human Centipede's messed up. Both of them, all three of them. I watched them all. They all bother me, but Audition really gets to me still. Because, like, this guy's, like, auditioning to find himself a wife after his wife passes away. And he puts up this fake casting call because he's, like, a casting director. And he finds his perfect match. She answers all those questions perfectly. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to hire you for this part. And he brings her into his home with his son and all this other stuff. A lot of craziness ensues. And there's just a scene in this movie that you just have to watch this movie. It's just really, really fucked up. It's incredibly fucked up.
What is the name of that movie? It had like Robin Williams he worked as a guy in a photo place, like in
1 hour photo
or something.
1 hour photo.
And he was developing the pictures of his family.
Yeah.
And he like started inserting himself.
Yeah.
Or fantasizing about having their lives. I remember that movie being pretty disturbing too. What was it called? 1 hour photo?
Yeah, 1 hour photo.
It played Robin Williams as a creepy guy, which
that's what he was.
You don't expect to see Robin Williams in that.
That's what he was doing though at that time.
To do it.
He was trying so hard because there was Insomnia, there was that one, Death to Smoochie. Like there was this whole like
dark Robin Williams.
Yeah, like but look what else he can do. Like, bro, you already
Robin Williams universe.
It's like, bro, you already won an Academy Award. Calm down,
man.
Calm down, man. We're good.
You can stop. It's good, man.
We just want, more Mr. Aladdin, sir. But, knowing the tragedy of Robin Williams and how his life ended, maybe there was something more to those choices. So who knows?
You never know.
We never know. You never know. I do miss him. He was a fantastic performer, not just a comedic actor, but could really nail those creepy roles and those dramatic roles as well.
Yeah.
Dead Poets Society, Good Will Hunting. I love those movies.
He's like a stand-up comedian too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he played World of Warcraft.
Oh, really? That's cool.
He's immortalized in the game. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
It is cool.
Wow. Get it? See what I did there? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob says there have been a lot of disturbing movies. Irreversible, Eraserhead. Yeah. And the newest one I've watched is The Platform. That was Disturbing Trip I don't want to take again. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Pi is a disturbing film.
Pi is disturbing.
Darren Aronofsky, who also did Requiem, but like Pi's fucked up. What's crazy is like, it's so crazy that I'm listing these movies and I told Perry to watch Last House on the Left. It's so wild because that's one of probably one of the most disturbing movies I've seen, just because it makes you just feel dirty. That and Mother's Day. Anybody ever seen the movie Mother's Day back in the early 80s? Oh, that's one of those ones where you're just like, bro, I don't know, man. I just don't know about this horror thing anymore, man. I don't know if I can partake. But anyway, if anybody in the chat has a question for the panel, throw it out right now. Because we have show and tell coming up. but we have some time to kill until then. Perry's like, damn, I forgot they do show and tell.
No, I got. I
remember that one day, like we were talking. I got this hatchet.
I got this ashtray.
Yeah, I got that shit right here. Oh, I got some toenail clippers. I just got.
Great show and tell.
Hell yeah, man.
Did y'all ever watch The Lighthouse?
I still haven't
with
seen that
Robert
yet.
Pattinson.
I still haven't seen it. I have it, but I haven't watched it.
Okay.
It's a wild ride.
I'm gonna end up watching it eventually.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I really want to see it. I saw the Batman trailer today for the first time on the big screen before Suicide Squad, or my bad, Brooks, the Suicide Squad. And man, I'm really still pumped for that movie. Really pumped for the Batman. And
it's not Ben Affleck. It's perfect.
Well, the thing I hated though is like they tease movies so early now, you know.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: how does the Batman, which comes out next year, had a goddamn trailer last year? We still ain't seen shit from Spider-Man 3.
Nothing.
Like, still ain't seen shit, bro.
Not even close.
People keep sharing that fucking meme where they're like, Kevin Feige said they weren't gonna do one.
New trailers.
Like, that's bullshit. But when are they gonna do it? Like, I was like, surely it's gonna be Suicide Squad weekend. That's the big one. I guess Shang-Chi maybe.
Yeah.
That's like in a month,
Yeah.
right? That's less than a month away. Jesus.
Yeah.
They're Fast and Furious now, baby. I mean, they're coming Fast and Furious now. Man, that Fast and Furious franchise, I cannot wait to talk about it next week. Me, Brooks, Jay Strick, and Manny from Tomorrow Cinema.
I will not.
Delaney's not going to be here. It's okay.
This is my last ActionFest movie, and it's my favorite genre of film.
This was it. Yeah,
this is it.
Delaney wussed out on the end of ActionFest.
Sorry.
Couldn't bring himself to watch 10 Fast and Furious movies, even though he went with me to watch the new one.
I did. I went to go see it, and it was terrible. So, I mean, whatever. It's good to know you guys, but there's some movies I will not. I'll stay for Hobbs and Shaw, and I can stay for Fast 9. But that's it. That's it. That's all I've seen in the original.
I'm really excited.
You gotta go all the way if you're gonna hang with us. You gotta go all the way.
No, I'm good.
I'm really excited because all I have to do now is watch Hobbs and Shaw, and then it's on to Hellraiser Glory, baby.
Yeah.
When did Hobbs and Shaw get thrown in there? Like I've just learned of this.
Hobbs and Shaw is the 10 is the
and it's Fast 9.
It's the one, but it's between 8 and 9.
So we're doing Are we doing Fast 9 too?
Yeah, bro. Where I told you we're doing all 10 of these films.
You hadn't watched any of the.
That's why I invited you to go with us, but you can rent it now on YouTube, so you can watch them. They're out there.
It exists.
I'm glad I did have to take notes though. I rarely take notes when I'm watching a film, but I took notes on Fast and Furious because I started this like a couple months ago. I was like, there's no way I'm
gonna hard to tell like which one was which.
I'm keeping them separate. I got little clues in my head. Number 1, Point Break with cars. Number 2, Ludacris and Tyrese show up.
Hell yeah.
Tyrese plays Vin Diesel.
Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Third one, Karate Kid with cars.
Tokyo Drift. I love that one.
Yeah. Fourth one, Trying to Get It Right again. Fifth one, the best one, The Heist, The Vault. Oh my God. The sixth one, Weird Stretch. Seventh one, really freaking good. Eighth one, probably the worst. Probably my least favorite is Fate of the Furious because the Charlize Theron character, Cypher or whatever, I cannot fucking stand her. So boring to me. And what's up with those dreads in that movie? Jesus Christ. Haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw. Seems like a really cool new version of like a Lethal Weapon type thing.
Yeah, it is.
And Fast 9. I laugh every time I see Ludacris and Tyrese go into space. And so that makes that movie enjoyable to me. Yeah, they go to space in that one. Have you seen that one yet?
Got it. I've seen the first 3.
Oh, dude, they get better. It becomes the goddamn MCU. It's the FCU. They go to space in the new one, bro. They literally strap a rocket engine to a fucking car
and shoot it in space.
Look out of here!
I'm serious.
Oh man,
I was sitting there the entire movie just like this. Fuck.
Delaney can attest though. Every time it showed up and it was just Roman
laugh.
and dude in space, I just laughed. I just couldn't do anything else. I was like, this is so fucking stupid. They are in space, and they're in space. They're like, yo, we made it. We're in space. I'm just like, oh my god. They're like, bro, like the car doors are like duct taped so that the air doesn't leak out and shit.
Oh
It's
my
like so
God.
fucking ridiculous, man. And you ready for this? You ready for this? Guess who designs this rocket strapped to a car?
Fucking makes it.
The dudes from Tokyo Drift. The dude, the southern dude and fucking Bow Wow. Like, it's them.
They're astrophysicists now. They've
Oh,
been sitting
dude,
in a
that's
government
crazy.
lab.
Now,
making
granted,
fucking rockets.
they don't launch this car from the ground. They do strap it to the top of a
Strap it to the
plane.
floor.
And
of
then they
course.
launch
Oh
it
my
from the
God.
plane.
I mean,
It's
they
not
didn't
a
just take a giant
spoiler.
slingshot and just sling it into space.
Yeah, plus it's the magnet movie. It's all about magnets.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Magnets, how the fuck do they work?
Dude, trust me.
Apparently
You
they
even
don't. Yeah. Apparently the laws of physics do not apply to the Fast and Furious people. A, they don't die. B, magnets. Whatever attaches to them. Whatever flies away. It's just so confusing with the magnets. It's just weird. And station comics Brickyard. Yeah. So it's so weird that all of this happens in this weird movie where they were just drag racing. Weren't they just drag racing?
Says the
They're just
guy.
racing.
Says the guy who just gave Face Off a fucking 4 out of 5. Just saying.
But see, it's cheese, but it's over now. They don't make 20 freaking Face-Off movies.
You know what
They-
Face
I
Off
heard
was
they're
about?
making a
though?
remake, actually.
They should. You know what Face Off was actually about? Family.
Yes, we know, Dom. Everything's about family.
You know what family is, don't you? Yes.
I just want to see Vin Diesel shoot commercials for Olive Garden. Like, that's what we need.
Awesome.
When you're here, your family.
Your family.
And you don't turn your back on family.
Oh man, I can't. I
Turn
still
your
can't
back on endless breadsticks.
Yep.
And salad.
I can't believe his last movie. The last movie we watched at Hollywood 18 was freaking Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. Jesus.
God dang it.
Did you watch that one, Perry? Bloodshot?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think?
It was okay. It was, yeah.
Who told Vin Diesel he was an action star? Somebody had to. It wasn't The Rock, I'll tell you that.
I like Pitch Black.
Pitch Black's
Yeah.
good.
I thought that was great.
That's like a low budget sci-fi film, right?
Yeah.
You know, so like that was when he was like, there's a
He's not ripped.
there's a few years where Vin Diesel's really good. It starts falling apart for me with Fast and Furious and Triple X.
Triple X.
Yeah.
Triple X.
Vin Diesel is James Bond.
Yeah.
And then
And
Ice
then
Cube.
and then Vin Diesel is all of a sudden able to like fight on par with The Rock and now John Cena. And you're just like, what the fuck ever, bro?
No, you're getting your ass kicked. And that's John Cena. Oh yeah, and John Cena's in Fast 9. And it's like, oh God. And I like John Cena now that he's in films and not wrestling. It's the best ever.
Well, I heard
So
I heard that he's making a run to come back for title number 17, baby.
Yep, he is. He's not gonna win it. If he does win it, I believe
He won't
Vince
keep
McMahon.
it for long. He's
Yeah.
going to be that guy that's just going to go for like what? He's got a contract that's going to last a couple of Raws and 3 pay-per-views.
Yep. And on top of that, Ric Flair was let go from the WWE, so they're gonna do an FU to him because he quit.
What was all that
So-
about?
He, well, we don't know what his release was. I don't know why he was released, but he asked for it and they granted it. They don't tell us what's going on anymore. He said his main complaint was he doesn't like the storylines in WWE anymore, and certain people are being overlooked, which has been happening for years. Vince don't care, and Vince gave control of the WWE to this guy, Nick Khan or something, and Nick Khan is like the chief financial officer. He's been
Like a
firing.
real con man.
He is a con. Con! He's been firing people right and left. He fired Braun Strowman. He fired Bray Wyatt, the best character that best gimmick WWE has ever had, probably since like Stone Cold Steve Austin and Undertaker. He's that memorable, but they didn't know what to do with him, so they just fired him. Like he hasn't been seen since April, and since WrestleMania 37, and then after that, he was just gone. They just creatively didn't know what to do with him because WWE is a mess, and I'm so glad I don't watch wrestling anymore. But Ric Flair got fired. John Cena's back, so he's the 16-time world champion. I think he's tied with Ric Flair. So if he gets that 17th championship, he'll beat Ric Flair's record, and that'd be a big screw you.
I'm surprised Ric Flair's still wrestling. He's old as fuck.
Yeah, he's not wrestling. He's a manager, but he held the record. But John Cena is now tied with him for how many championships he's had. And I'm like, oh my god, freaking John Cena! I hate John Cena. He uses cancer kids as a prop when he's like wrestling, but like when he's a movie star, I don't care. Apparently, I like him as a movie star. He's pretty decent. He's got pretty decent films and bit parts in movies. Daddy's, I think it was Daddy's Home. He's in Daddy's Home, and I laughed my butt off when he was in it. He's great in movies, and not in Fast 9 though. That's a piece of shit. But he's got his moments. There are a few movies I've seen with him in it that are like worth a damn when you see him. So I've backed off my stance of John Cena. If he beats Ric Flair's record, that don't sit right with me. I'm mad it's already tied. But it's all good.
What? Best Vin Diesel scene is his breakdancing from the 80s. No, I think it's the Street Sharks promo from the 90s. If you've never seen it, check it out. Phillips, the second person to mention Irreversible as fucked up movies. Monica Bellucci, I'll have to check that out.
She's in the Matrix films.
She is. She's in Shoot 'Em Up. Which
we
is
gotta watch Shoot 'Em Up.
It's been on a
Shoot 'Em Up.
It's been on a poll. Enough. It was on the ActionFest poll, but it lost to Fifth Element.
It's on with Clive Owen.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
Yeah,
it's basically that movie. It's so good.
It's a Bugs Bunny movie.
Live action. It's a live action Bugs Bunny movie.
He kills his first guy with a carrot.
Yep.
What?
It's awesome. Shoot 'Em Up.
Shoot 'Em Up's a good movie.
Paul Giamatti. Oh my god.
He's Elmer Fudd. There's even a part where he's like whistling. So I mean, it's an action movie, but it's Bugs Bunny being chased by Elmer Fudd. It's kind of like just a nod to it.
That's kind of funny.
I
Interesting.
gotta watch that again now.
We'll be doing the audience pick so we got two polls coming up for Horror Fest. One is going to be movies picked by Joe Corallo that everybody's going to vote for, and the other one is going to be movies picked by you. 10 horror movies. So start thinking about them because we are going to be calling for those suggestions next week on the Fast and Furious Action Fest conclusion. So the top 10 or the first 10 choices of movies that I approve, meaning that we haven't already done them or do not plan on doing in the future. And we'll put the poll together and get it ready. Because Horror Fest is soon, y'all. So right now, start watching your Hellraiser films. Because there's 10 of them.
I know it to 4.
Well, man, I hit 3 and I'm like, I don't know if I can go on.
That's why you're starting now.
3 is the first one I remember.
I'm going to tell you this, though, man.
3 is the one.
5, 6, and 7. I love them. I love 5, 6, and 7. Y'all may disagree, but it's
okay.
Whatever's going to happen. All right, it's time for our favorite question here on PCP Movie Night, PCP Back Chat. What'd you have for breakfast today? Let's start with Brooks.
Eggo chocolate chip waffles, as usual.
That's why we started with you. It's the same answer. You literally eat that every fucking day, don't you, Brooks?
Yeah, pretty much.
You have one? You have two? You have two?
2, yeah.
2
just
waffles.
Grab a couple out the box, stick them in the toaster, and just. I don't get a plate or nothing. I just fucking pull them out the toaster and into my mouth.
Fucking hardcore, bruh.
Yeah.
What about you, Perry?
Breakfast.
Today I had at 11 o'clock. I had 2 California rolls and 2 shrimp tempura rolls with a side of crab ragoon and a Diet Coke.
Nice.
That's actually a better breakfast than probably anybody else here on the panel.
I wanted sushi when I woke up. I don't know why.
Bruh, I want sushi every day when I wake up, but I'm allergic. Every time I have 60 pieces, I throw up. I stole that joke from Parks and Rec. What about you, Jelani? What'd you break your fast with today?
Actually, it was leftover breakfast. Like I had eggs, scrambled eggs with cheese and chives, with some bacon and sausage from like yesterday that I had extra from. I made
Well, you say it was a leftover breakfast. I mean, you didn't reheat leftover scrambled eggs, did you?
Yeah, I reheated scrambled eggs. It was good.
Living on the edge, bro. Living on the edge.
I don't care. It was good. It ain't good. And I had what else did I have? I had oatmeal and a honey bun.
Ooh.
Things I don't need to have, but I had.
You had all that and a honey bun.
And a honey bun.
Like a
Nice.
3-course breakfast.
Well,
It was
the tiny ones. Yeah.
You have dessert for breakfast. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
I love breakfast sandwiches, and I've been watching these videos of like street food in like India and Korea, and they make these one pan egg sandwiches where they're like, you know, they have the egg and they put the bread on it and they do the fold thing and all that. So I tried to do that today. It was good. It didn't quite work out. Like when I flipped it, it all broke apart, the 2 pieces of bread, but still the concept was there. So I had a bacon, egg and cheddar breakfast one pan sandwich. That was rather good. Rather good. So
yeah, put ketchup on it. It ups it. It'll up it.
I hate ketchup.
Yeah.
No, he hates
I hate ketchup.
It's not happening.
I'll put hot sauce on it.
Yeah.
And if I put a commercial hot sauce on it, that's close as to ketchup as I'll get.
Like Louisiana hot sauce.
Like sriracha's ketchup to me, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put sriracha on it, but I actually didn't do any of that because I just wanted to see. I mean, it works. You know what I'm talking about, where you make like it's the same way you make like a folded egg. Yeah, and you just put the bread in it. And I was like, that's weird. You put it on the egg as the egg's cooking, but it works and it kind of crisps it up. So it was actually really good. So
Sounds good.
That's what we had for breakfast today, everybody.
Fascinating.
The winner is Perry.
Yeah, you had sushi, bro.
2 California rolls, shrimp tempura roll, and some crab ragoon on the side.
Yeah.
Jelani, though, with fucking breakfast and second breakfast plus a honey bun. Jelani eats like a hobbit.
That's right.
We got these sausages. Jelani and Brooks is like eats like an elf. Is like his elven fucking bread or just fucking chocolate chip waffle.
Like just take a couple of Lindis breads, put them in the toaster.
Hell yeah.
Good times, man.
What's your favorite root beer? We'll start with Jelani.
The A&W. A&W original. I like the root beer floats. They're freaking awesome. And the go-to.
Good pick. Good pick. What about you, Perry?
I like the Barks.
Yeah. Barks got bite.
Barks is good. Yeah, it does.
It's got caffeine. That's one of the differences between Barks and other root beers is it has caffeine. It's kind of like Sunkist has caffeine and other orange sodas do not. What about you, Brooks? Your favorite root beer?
I used to like Faygo root beer back in the day. So usually if I was getting a Faygo, I'd usually go cream soda. I'd switch up every once in a while. Get a root beer. And, you know, it was good because they were cheap. You know, like 69 cents for a bottle.
69, dudes.
Yeah.
I hate to do this. I kind of got a tie. I love Barks because it does have that bite. It's got caffeine. And usually when I'm drinking soda, I want a caffeine kick. But at the same time, I think the best tasting is the A&W, especially if you can go and get it on tap at an A&W, which we don't have an A&W anymore here. But like, it's so freaking good. And that is such a creamy, delicious kind of root beer that I absolutely love. So hell yeah. Nice root beer discussion, everybody.
Heck yeah.
Root beer.
Now I want a root beer.
Yeah, me too, right? Screw this real beer. I want a root beer. And that was Awkward Silence. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That was sponsored by Bullseye Bob from Everything Comics.
Oh man. Oh, now I'm thinking about root beer again. Good times. And I need to fry an egg over hard.
Over hard.
I still gotta try. I gotta try that.
Our buddy Brian said, we were asked a question of how we like our eggs, and Perry Bryan goes, over hard. And everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, over hard. I'm like, it is a thing, because over easy, over medium, over hard. But like, that's just people that don't know how to cook eggs wind up accidentally making over hard. And that's what he said. He goes, I try to make over easy, but they wind up over hard. And then he made the bit like, everything I do overly hard. And that has a lot of connotations to it.
It fucks different.
We created a new bit tonight, man. People fuck different, man. I'm sorry. People fuck different.
True story.
All right, then. Let's see. We talked about root beer. We talked about breakfast. All right, here we go. Who are the 5 greatest rappers of all time, Jelani?
Oh, man.
Come on, man. That's easy. It's
man.
Dial on, and dial on. Because he spits hot fire.
Yeah. He rips and he rhymes. He rhymes and he rips. Yeah. I appreciate you committing to the bit and finishing that out. But for real, though, who are your top 5?
Okay, fine. So, let's see. It'd go Eminem, Nas. Who would I listen to on a daily basis? Like Tupac, Snoop, and the greatest of all time. And I say this because it's only 2 albums, and he doesn't do much on them, but the way they were configured makes it gorgeous, and that's Dr. Dre.
Huh.
I think, and it's controversial to me, but he's the reason a lot of West Coast rap is what it was, and the way he put it together, and how it was structured. I see it like Jay-Z was on the East Coast to what? Well, Jay-Z's the most. He's one of the richest, but Dre is rich as well. But Dre is what the West Coast is to what Jay-Z is for the East Coast. They both have their own takes on where they live and how it's harder in one place and easier in the other, but still harder. I don't know. I just like the way Dre goes. And so I go with him being the best. Eminem's at the bottom. But most and Nas is the storyteller, and Tupac is the storyteller.
Good list. What about you, Perry?
I feel like that's a really complex thing to ask. Like the top 5, because there's so many reasons why I like so many different rappers. Like there's just such a broad thing.
Lot of them.
Yeah, but if I was like on a desert island and I could only listen to 5 artists, it would probably be Biggie, 50 Cent, DMX, Jay-Z, and probably Lil Wayne. And I think they've all made a major impact on rap as a whole. And I think all their albums back to back, I could just continuously listen to.
All right, nice.
Yeah. Okay,
good picks. What about you, Brooks?
Tupac, Snoop, Be Real, DMX. trying to think of who would probably Dr. Dre. I actually do like Dr. Dre's rap style. Even though
I
he's
do
not
too.
as known for his raps as he is for his producing.
It's
I like Dre's. He has a kind of a tough guy rap style to him.
This is tough.
You asked the question.
I know. All right.
I thought you had a prepared statement.
I don't. So I'm going to go with 5 here, and I'm trying not to repeat a lot of what you guys said. I love Dr. Dre. I love Dr. Dre. He's more of a producer for me. I like Snoop, but sometimes I don't like he doesn't reach deep in a lot of his stuff. Honorable mention to Warren G, who I do. Awesome. I really like. Okay. I'll go. And this,
but he's not so much a rapper as he's a singer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
He's good on hooks.
He's more. Yeah.
So, okay. So number 5, I'll go Pusha T.
Wow.
Pusha T.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
Number 4, I'll go AC Alone.
You love some AC Alone.
I do love AC Alone. What else do you really need besides superb wordage? Man, I stay heated like a burn from a furnace. Color shoes always rhyme the same color as my shirt is.
He said this since I've met him. Since I met him.
Okay. Number 3, I'll go Tupac.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'll go Del the Funky Homo Sapien. And number 1, I'll go All I Need Is One Mic. Nas. I think Nas is the best East Coast rapper, and that's just me. But
he's great. I didn't name Jay-Z.
Jay's up there as well. Be Real was a good one, Brooks. That was a really good one to pull. Be Real, because a lot of people don't realize how great of a lyricist he actually is, because they just associate them with pot and shit, right?
Yeah.
But Cypress Hill just made this album not too long ago, like a year or two ago, called Elephants on Acid. And it's one of the first truly psychedelic hip hop albums I can think of. It's fucking amazing, bro.
Hey, you remember Skull and Bones?
Yeah, man.
He had the rap and the rock album.
Oh, you want to be a rock superstar and live large, a big house and 5 cars.
You're in charge. Coming up in the world. Nobody got to look over your shoulder constantly.
I remember the days when I was a young G. Yeah, whatever.
I haven't heard that shit in years. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought about Andre. I really, really did think about Andre. If it was a desert island thing, Outcast, I'll just put him on there. And can I just say, let's just put it. I'll put a tie out for everybody in Souls of Mischief. Like throw all the hieroglyphics out there, not just Dell. So like, do it all. Like, I'm cool with that. We got Ice Cube. We got some Wu-Tang up in the house.
They got to diversify your bonds.
Nas is King. Biggie. Nas, Jada, Ricky, BDK. I don't know if I know who all you're talking about there. What's BDK?
Big Daddy Kane?
Oh, Big Daddy Kane. That makes sense.
Big Daddy Kane.
Sup? Okay. Nice. Smooth Rick. Is that the Ricky we're talking about?
Ricky Williams.
Ricky from Boys in the Hood.
Ricky.
Oh, Ricky.
I've been listening to a lot more Wu-Tang this week because of the Shogun Assassin shit.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to that.
Oh my god. I'm mad I ain't heard that song before. It's so good.
Oh, it was Slick Rick.
Oh,
yeah, Slick Rick. Slick Rick's dope.
Slick Rick. Yep.
Yeah, I like Slick Rick. He's a storyteller.
I like that old school, like Curtis Blow, getting on the breaks. Like, I love that shit.
I was almost tempted to mention Kid and Play. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, they're some of my favorites too. So that's old school, but a lot more fun and pop. That was like fifth grade. Robbie
called him timid.
Yeah. What?
You called him timid.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that you think of the reputation Kid and Play has, then you watch House Party, and there's this big spit on it that Kid does that's really good. That's a diss on those dudes from who were those dudes? Those 3 bully dudes. God damn. What was the name of their fucking
shoot? I know exactly what you're talking about.
God damn it. I cannot think of them, but they're the ones like, it smells like something. What does it smell like? It smells like smells. Yeah, they're hip hop group. What was it? Oh my God. I cannot remember it. But he's doing this whole thing at the jail. And at the end of it, he's like, "Suck my dick," and I'm like, I've never heard Kid and Play say some shit like that. Full Force, right? It's Full Force.
Full Force.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank God. Oh my goodness.
Wikipedia.
I didn't even. I was about to go to Wikipedia, and I thought Full Force. Full Force. That's it. What does it smell like? It smells like something. Oh, and there it is in the Too Short's dope too.
Yeah.
I do like me some Too Short. Hell yeah. All right.
No Master P.
We all know that the best lyricist at No Limit was Mystical and Silk the Shocker. I will throw out for Silk the Shocker. I'm serious, man. Made Man is still one of my favorite fucking albums, man. He did that song with Mia too. Is it Mia or Maya? He did that song. You remember that one? In Love with the Thug or whatever? What you gonna do with a girl like me, a guy like you, with a week or two? It's whatever, but it ain't what we want to.
Mystical has a song called I Smell Smoke.
Yeah.
When he's in the hotel room. Oh, dude, that song is so good.
Yeah, he's straight fire.
Yeah. I smell smoke. I smell smoke.
I don't mean the truth, but I smell smoke.
I still love Juvenile. I love Juvenile from the Cash Money Millionaires.
All right.
I do. I'm sorry. That's mine because I got 400 degrees. You see me? I eat, sleep, shit, or top rap. I said I got down in Mercedes on TV. I bought that. I got some felony charges. I bought that. Consider no return. The still was bought back. That shit is awesome, son. I love me some Juvenile. And back that ass up.
Okay. No, it's back that thing up, young man. It's back that thing up.
That ass up.
There's one good album I like. I think it's called Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Lil Wayne was coming up as in Cash Money and he was like, "The black is hot. Yeah. The black is hot."
Yeah.
Those were the days.
I listened to that song "Fuck the World" like all the time back in the day. I hated that song so much. I hated Lil Wayne.
Oh man, I love Lil Wayne, man. That was like me in like 9th grade, 2009. That's when he was like Carter 3 was just coming out. You know, like that shit was like huge in high school, man. Like that shit was like he was dropping all the mixtapes. Sorry for the wait too. Oh man,
I really started liking him when he did that. So there's that Robin Thicke song Shooter, and he did his like rap on top of the song. I loved that, and that's when I started getting into him a little bit more. But I did not like him back in those early days, like Brooks, like the whole black is hot, the black is hot.
I actually
like black is hot. But like that okay, so he did the album with a guy, the name's escaping me again, but he did the album with the dude like Father Like Son. Birdman. I really like that fucking album, man. The one from like
awesome. My leather's
2000s.
so soft.
My leather's so soft.
Yeah.
My leather's so soft. You probably figured out. My leather's so soft, but I roll so hard. But you roll so hard.
And Birdman's just in the background. Junior, and then that's his feature, dude. What the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Well, they fell out so bad. They fell out so bad over the rights to his songs and stuff. Like a few years ago, I was like, "Dang, that sucks." Because they could have kept making money, man.
Birdman's like, I'm just not gonna pay nobody.
All right, now it's time for show and tell. It's time for show and tell at the end of the program. So let's go ahead and start with Jelani this evening. Show us what you've got.
Let's see. I don't know if I showed this off last week, but I prefer my Darth Maul with the shirt. He looks really good. I like this one.
The shirt is so off. The shirt is so off.
But his horns are so hard.
His horns are so hard.
Yeah. Okay. So I got one yesterday and I didn't get a chance to open it, but here we are. I got a John Hammond from the Amber collection.
Oh wow.
Jurassic Park stuff.
What a boring ass action figure. Here's an old guy.
But he's got the cane of Amber. That cane of Amber on there, man. I like that cane.
You'd have John Hammond like doing some John Woo shit.
But he was like a pimp for a second.
Backflipping, doing his thing. Then I'll just show this off. at first, like I thought UPS screwed me out of it, but here's my other Viper that finally came in the mail yesterday. So now I have 3 Vipers from G.I. Joe. I'm super excited because these are the only 3 I'm going to get because the others cost hundreds of dollars to get off online. And then now I also have these cool things that I got in the store, super cheap. But these are the the Masters of the Universe figures, the Mega Constructs. So this one, of course, is He-Man, and this one is, of course, Skeletor with Panther with a Battle Cat.
Why does Panther got? Yeah, why has Panther got the Battle Cat head armor?
I don't know. It's weird.
That's not right.
I'll take it off.
Just swapping them around.
Yeah.
But, when you play with them, you start swapping pieces.
Skeletor just wants to be more like He-Man.
Won't come off.
That's why I liked Panther better than Battle Cat. He's like, I don't need no head protection, bitch.
You don't need no head protection. On top of that, he's flocked. He looks gorgeous. That's a good little fur.
I got that.
He's nice and furry.
Head really protection.
Yep. And then, of course, the Battle Cat and He-Man came with Roton and Merman. And it spins.
Oh, wow.
You roll it. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Kind of like a Beyblade.
It took me so freaking long to put this together because I don't put Lego stuff. I don't know what Beyblades are.
No?
You lost me on that.
You never played the Beyblade?
Not
you gotta rip it.
No, not at
rip
all.
it.
They used to battle them.
Drop it, top it, drop it.
All right, and finally,
you suck my tongue. Would you be grateful?
That's an enjoyable thing, though.
Yeah. These are my
what, Beyblades or sucking tongues? I'm confused about what we're talking about right now, man. I don't know what's going on.
I like Beyblades sucking tongues.
Brooks is like, Beyblade? Brooks, you would love Beyblade.
Let it rip.
Let it rip and take a sip, Beyblade.
The hell's a Beyblade? So
just look it up.
Finally, it's like a Drado that spins fast.
No, I have
you battle them though.
God damn it! This is showing the last thing. These are the Marvel Legends that I decided to finally just break down and buy pieces for to finish. So I had this Titus figure that came out a while back with Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy Wave. I think it's a pretty cool looking figure. I had him posed a certain way on the wall already, but I like it. It's cool. And then I finally finished this guy, the Crimson Dynamo. I just needed a right leg, and a right arm because I didn't get crossbones and Spy Master. So I was just like, I'll just get the pieces for that. And then finally, my favorite, freaking Demo Goblin.
Nice.
And I love the stand on it that comes with that stand. I love everything about you because I made it up to a point and then bought another one of these for my Red Goblin. And I was just like, I'll buy another one. I'll get the pieces back. So I finally got his legs and I got this piece at the bottom to complete him. But yeah, that's it. That's
very cool. Very cool.
Heck yeah.
I like the Demogoblin, and you could probably put that head on the Hobgoblin, maybe paint it and do a customized Demon Hobgoblin, which was another right before it became Demogoblin and whatnot. So that's super cool.
They have a Demogoblin with the Hobgoblin stuff, but if you buy another Hobgoblin, they're like $120 online.
Damn.
Pass.
All right.
Extra pass.
Next up for show and tell, Perry, show us what you've got.
So I just recently finished watching this MODOK show. So I found some cool MODOK books online. This cover looked really cool.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I just finished reading this. This is awesome. So the guy who wrote this actually does the voice for MODOK in the TV show.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's his name. And then this one, it has most of his early appearances.
Oh, I didn't even know they did that. That's super cool, man.
Yeah, you can go back and see all where he came from, his first appearance. Pretty cool stuff.
MODOK.
Nice.
Yeah.
MODOK. All right. Next up for show and tell, our resident PCP version of MODOK. Brooks. Show us what you've got.
This one I got these two guys just so I could do this bit. Kakarot, I want to take your face off. Is that okay? As a matter of fact, it isn't. But yeah, these are the Dragon Ball Super figures that came out like a little while back.
Dragon Stars.
I've tried to like not get too into the whole Dragon Ball Z figures, so I just got those two on Piccolo so far. I think I'm gonna stop there. Unless I find a Super Saiyan Vegeta, of course.
I've got some if you want to see these. I don't have them displayed anymore.
And I picked this off my shelf. This is my Alien collection.
Nice.
It's got all the good ones, including Alien Resurrection, the best one.
The basketball scene.
It's just so good.
Sacrilegious to say.
It's like I skip all of the other Alien movies just to get to Resurrection quicker.
Yeah.
And last, I picked a book off the shelf. This is my Bone.
Boom, boom, boom. I forgot all about Bone Thugs.
One volume collection.
Damn, that's huge.
You could like smash somebody's head in with it.
Oh my god, it's a weapon.
Which I would never do.
Sure.
Very nice, Brooks. All right, and wrapping up show and tell will be me. I'll show you what I got. Well, I got a package the other day, and I was like, I didn't order anything. And sometimes when you do a Kickstarter, the best thing is to forget about it, and then you get surprises. So I got the Gallows Man from Brandon Ingram. I was on a show on Tomorrow Cinema with him. So I got my stuff from Kickstarter from him. It's got a quote on the back. It says, well, I can say it is a comic book. Grant Morrison. Not that one. Boy, do I feel sorry for whoever had to raise this so-called writer, the writer's mom. That one. So it's got some humor in it. Seems neat. Eager to dive in and check that out. Due to our good buddy Mike, the voice Matthews, my Hordak has a cape now.
Oh, cool.
So I got a cape. So we got a collection that just randomly had a Hordak cape. So now I have a cape for my Hordak. Mike also hooked me up with some VHSs because, you know, I'm collecting VHSs now, trying to build a new VHS set. And so I got some bangers here. Pulp Fiction.
Ooh.
Mallrats.
Yeah, I have these. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Fight Club.
They're essential. Yeah.
Go, which I really love this film. And here's a great one. Spawn.
Wow.
Spawn!
They look
director's
really good
cut. Yeah, they look really nice. So there's that. This is all Mike's stuff too. He's hooked me up. So I just got to tell you, Cinnamon Toast Crunch oatmeal exists.
What?
Okay. This exists. I haven't opened it yet, but this exists.
Oh my God, you must tell me this.
Oh, you got to do like a recording of yourself opening it and trying it. You know, like that's a whole video right there.
Okay, not just Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I have all of these, and I just brought that one for show and tell. But there's Cocoa Puffs, Tricks, and Lucky Charms as well. And
Nice.
y'all ready for this?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh!
Oh, that's cool as heck.
Where did you get it? Where?
Mike ordered it for me months ago when it first got announced, and it came in
my
from
God.
Walmart.com. So it's a repro. It's the Kenner Classics of the Ecto 1. And what's cool about this, aside from just buying a vintage one, is that it was cheaper, and it will be pristinely like white and red and clear blue. Like it will not be
yellow.
Yeah. So I'm really freaking pumped for that. So I got my Ecto 1. Now I just need them to I really just want a Firehouse now, and I'm good.
Yeah.
All I need is a Firehouse, and I'm good for the most part. So hell yeah. So that was show and tell. I got a Slimer, I got the Stay Puft, and I got the 4 Ghostbusters. I still haven't opened them, but that's one of my bits I'm going to be doing during Horror Fest is opening up my Transformers. And I want to get the Firehouse and maybe a few ghosts here and there, you know, but like for the most part, it's not that big of a deal. As long as I have the 4 Ghostbusters, Slimer, Stay Puft, Firehouse, Ecto 1, and some pink slime, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you need for the ecto slime or whatever. And, there's a Ghostbusters movie coming out, so hopefully we'll get some high C ecto cooler back. I really freaking hope so. Anyway, that was our show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us when we talked about Nicolas Cage and John Travolta taking their face off, which is a real fun bit. Tomorrow night on Dylan's Horror Show, The Blob, the 1988 remake. And next week, we end Action Fest with the much anticipated look at every single Fast and Furious film, all 10 of them. And then a 2-week break, and then Horror Fest starts. And y'all, we are excited and we are ready. Jelani, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Yeah, sorry I'm missing Fast and Furious. Yay. But this is my last one, so I'm so glad we had a good one this time. Let's have many more like that. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys in the comments. Thank you, Perry, for being here too. You guys are awesome.
Hell yeah. Perry, thank you so much for joining us yet again. We got to get you on again soon. Well, I'll give you the Horror Fest list. We'll find something for you, man.
Yeah, I want to do some horror stuff, man. I've been liking the horror movies, dude. I've seen As Above, So Below on Netflix. I thought it was great.
I haven't watched that one yet. It was good.
Oh man, it was really cool. It was like some type of found footage of the catacombs down in France.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of like built like
That's
pretty
interesting.
dope. Yeah.
Well, Perry, thank you.
Video Dome too.
Videodrome?
Yeah, there we go. That's what it's called.
Oh, the Cronenberg film. Yes.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Cronenberg's gonna
That's a
you up.
brilliant film.
Yeah.
Perry, thank you for being here. Final thoughts? And obviously, everybody needs to check out Perry Comics on YouTube if you haven't already. Comic book reviews, movie reactions, and a lot more.
The Face Off was pretty cool. I'll probably buy it on DVD. Might rewatch it in a couple of years. But yeah, I can't wait for Horror Fest, man. I'm excited. I've been liking these horror movies, man.
Every year we do these movie reviews, and what's crazy is like we all get pumped for Action Fest, and then halfway through Action Fest, I realize fucking Horror Fest is about to happen, and then it's all like, oh, I got to watch another Fast and Furious movie. All I want to do is get into Horror Fest, and we got a banger lineup this year. Speaking of bangers, everybody bangs different. Brooks, final thoughts?
This world will not have me as a man. I shall become a god. That's a quote from my hero Skeletor.
It is. All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. And my final thought will be this. Everybody fucks different. It's true.